is Weekend Work on Shade 45.
Bad Boys of Radio, Love Dinero, Coach PR, and this is Weekend Work, and we're working on the weekend as usual. We got a special guest in the building. He's
an original bad boy.
Original bad boy.
We just the Bad Boys of Radio. We got an original bad boy with us, man.
Okay.
We got a Chauncey, Chauncey, aka Loon, aka not the aka, right now known as Amir. How about that, right?
No question.
Peace, brother. Thank you for joining us, bro.
Nah, definitely, man. My pleasure, man.
Loon, what you want us to call you? Amir or Loon? Which one?
Yeah. What you want?
Which one you want?
Hey, yo, you listen to what you just said. You said, yo, Loon, which one is to call you? Loon or
Amir? Which one?
You said Loon. Which one you want to call us? You called him Loon already.
I'm saying, what name you want? You know, I'm just asking. I want to know.
Look, Amir's. I mean, I love Amir. I love what he represents. You know what I'm saying? I love what he stands for. I love what Amir stands for. You know what I'm saying? Amir, if you don't know the meaning in Arabic, Amir means prince or it means leader.
Right.
So there's some significance to the name as well, you know? You know what's crazy? In our communities, a lot of these names are floating around and not a lot of people know what they mean. Like when you look at Hakeem, you know what I'm saying? Hakeem means, you know what I'm saying, one who is just. You know what I'm saying? Or, one who is just. Kareem is one who is generous. Jamal is handsome. You know what I'm saying? Fatima was the daughter of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Aisha was his youngest wife. Khadijah was his first wife. All these names are circulating in our community, but it comes from our origin, before the transatlantic slave trade. So, you know, Islam survived, if not through culture, through names, so on and so forth. So, you know, I just wanted to get that little lesson real quick.
Nah, I appreciate that lesson because I actually, my attribute was, you know, when in my younger days at 5%, was Prince. And that's why I learned in Arabic, you know, Amir was Amir. So, you know,
Amir. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate the lesson, bro. Appreciate it. And I know this is what today's going to be. It's going to be a lesson. Today's going to be lessons for a lot of people, because a lot of people assumed, and you know, they didn't know the story behind Loon from the beginning to now. Like, you know, as far as you being in your incarceration, and there was a lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning. You getting with Bad Boy. How did that come along? Because I know you were running with Mace. Like, what made you leave Bad Boy though?
Well, the thing is, how I got the Bad Boy was through Arista. I was the Arista artist. You know what I'm saying? When I had a deal on the table with Clive Davis before I did Harlem World. You know what I'm saying? So I asked Clive permission, you know what I'm saying, if he would allow me to do this project, hopefully use it as a vehicle to propel my solo career, and then come back to Arista. So even after, you know, the mediocre success of the Harlem World project, Clive still allowed me to be a solo artist on the Arista. And then Clive left to form J Records, and I, you know, ended up on L.A. Reid's Arista.
Right, that's what L.A. Reid took over, right.
Yeah, and, you know, Bad Boy was still, you know, Arista was still the parent company of Bad Boy. So being that I had worked with Puff before, you know, on the Forever album, I was ghostwriting. I was given the opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to come down and, you know, to Florida for 4 days and write 2 songs, and I ended up staying there for 4 weeks, and I wrote 11 songs, and that's just basically what took us to the next level.
Yo, hold on. Can you tell us what one of the songs you wrote? Or you can't say
one of the songs I wrote? Or, well, I mean, which one or which album?
On that Forever album.
The Forever album was the one that he did with Mace and Kelly Price.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote his verse on that one.
All right.
Wow.
You know, we get the exclusives on the Weekend Work. You know, a lot of people.
Wow.
Hey, look, you got to fact check nowadays. I ain't mad at you, B. I'm
checking
exactly.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm patting everybody down, make sure they ain't got nothing sharp in their pocket. I'm doing all that, you know.
So then you decided, you know, to move on and get your own after Bad Boy.
Yeah, I left Bad Boy around 2005. And from there, you know, it was on amicable terms. You know what I'm saying? Me and Puff, you know, agreed to disagree on some things. And, you know, I felt like I was at a point where I can actually, you know, handle my own.
Right.
So what I did is I released a mixtape album after that. And, you know, another mixtape album after that. But at the same time, I was really trying to kind of figure out what went wrong with, you know, my career at Bad Boy as far as like record sales and stuff. Cause like I was touring overseas and I couldn't find a Bad Boy. I couldn't find a Loon album nowhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy because it's like, man, I debuted at number 6 on Billboard.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out, like, okay, cool. If I debut at number 6, that means there's a lot of people anticipating this album. You know, and our biggest records we did was at like 173 million in audience. So it was like, man, it wasn't a country I couldn't go to. Pretty much, they didn't know who I was.
That's
So
right.
to not have any albums, you know, present in these, you know, regions of the world was kind of a puzzle for me. But what actually ended up happening, I started bumping into Islam a lot. By circumstance. So by Allah's decree. And I know that now it's by Allah's decree, but at the time I was like on one mission, but embarked on a whole nother mission.
Another mission. And that was in 2008. What was that? Like 2007,
Yeah,
2008?
that was around 2007, 2008. And it all came full circle in 2008, and I accepted Islam in November of 2008. No, it was December. I think December or November 2008.
2008.
Yeah. It was November actually. Yeah.
Okay, so you did your conversion to Islam, and then you go on a trip, and then you get arrested, right?
Yeah.
At the time when you did your conversion, did you have any idea that there was an investigation, but with the
Absolutely
feds?
not. Absolutely not. And it's funny because I was introduced to kind of like the speaking circuit, as a motivational speaker. And the brother Mutar Bill, who used to be Napoleon, who was down with the Outlaws, he was the one that, told me like, yo, everywhere I be going, the kids be asking about you, the youth be asking about you. They want to know, I wasn't really, inclined to talking. So I was like, man, I need to learn my religion first. I can't be out there just talking. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no knowledge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I only know what I need to know, so I can implement the obligations that's, on me. But going anywhere past that, I felt was, I was premature. So he eventually convinced me to start like giving speaking engagements, and I spoke on what was in my capacity. But it happened to really like become a big deal when I started getting invited to a whole lot of countries to give talks. So this is the only thing that's on my mind. I'm not thinking that I got any issue in the United States.
Right.
All this is public stuff. You know what I'm saying? Everything I'm doing is documented. It's on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? It's on Twitter. It's on whatever at the time, Facebook. And it's like, I'm in clear sight. So I'm not running from nothing.
Right.
My passport is getting stamped. I was at 10 different countries while this so-called indictment was supposedly pending. So like these things were happening. And then when I got to Belgium, everything just came to an abrupt stop. And I'm just getting back. I'm just getting back.
So this was an investigation of years prior of you becoming doing your conversion to Islam. So this is like what, 4 years before of an investigation? Like it wasn't no possession. It wasn't possession, right?
Nah, it was conspiracy. It was conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute. So basically what that entails, the government is saying that I conspired to possess with the intent to distribute a kilo or more heroin. So basically what happened was the individual that I introduced to somebody else, they went on to have, dealings that didn't, include me in no way, shape, or form.
Wow.
So with that being said, these guys had already got, hit upside their head. And what they did is what common, in these day and times is when guys get a couple years in and realize this ain't what they really want. So they turn around and pull out the fishing rods. You know what I'm saying? So I was a victim of, individuals who couldn't, bear the burden of, having all the fun, signing up to a lifestyle, that they called, they call their own. They reap the benefits from it. You know what I'm saying? They enjoyed it, and when it all came crashing down, you're supposed to own that the same way you owned everything else.
Yeah.
But these individuals chose to implement me, and
bring you in with it.
It was a very easy thing to do because I'm a public figure. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 prior convictions. So you put that in front of any jury of my peers, and I'm meatloaf.
So-called peers.
So-called peers. Yeah, definitely so-called peers. Because I was in Wilmington, North Carolina. I mean, like, it looked like the Golden Girls out there, man. It was like a whole lot of, like,
That's
senior
not my
citizens.
peers.
Yeah, those are not my peers. So, and that's just something that's common. Because, like, honestly, I thought it was unique when it first happened. So I started really bumping heads with other dudes who suffer from the same thing. And it definitely showed me that it really wasn't that.
Wow. This is what we're going to do. Let's play some music, get the people, listen to some classic Loon. If that's okay with you, bro, we come right back.
I don't listen to music. Y'all can do what y'all want to do.
I know you do that. I know. I want to get into that too. I want to get into that. Why the whole music thing. But we gotta do that for the people, right? We're gonna do what we want to do.
Hey, look.
Yeah,
for the people is cool.
It's for the people. It's for the people.
It's for the people. Okay.
Triple H, Shade 45, Bad Boys Radio, Loon, Love Dinero, Coach PR. Man, we really bad boys today, man. Well, not Loon, because
we got the bad boy with us.
He's not bad boy anymore. He's not bad boy, but we'll take it.
He's not bad boy no more, but he's really a bad boy without being a bad boy. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay,
right.
I'll take that.
Triple H, Shade 45.
This is Weekend Work on Shade 45.
Weekend Work, Coach PR, DJ Love Dinero, our brother over there, Amir, a.k.a. Loon. You might know him as Chauncey. The day one's known as Chauncey.
That question. Hey, yo, tell you, if I hear that in a loud place, everything lock up. Because I know that's that.
Turn right around real quick.
Yeah, whoever I turn around and see, I know it's going to be a blast from the past.
You gotta be from Harlem to understand that shit right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. While you were incarcerated, were there and who were any rappers that your fellow rappers that reached out to you? Did you have any guys, like write you a letter, get them described through?
Well, at one point, I had the ability to talk to pretty much everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I say that to say, like, I spoke to everybody pretty much. I spoke to a lot of people. I was at Mayweather fights. I was calling people, from everywhere and everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
I kept in touch with, as much people as I could, and mostly family. But as far as like artists, I spoke to Busta, I spoke to Zab while I was locked up. I spoke to Game. I spoke to Christian, King Combs. I spoke to
so you spoke to everybody then. So
I was speaking to everybody.
Check. Okay, that's good.
So I think that by those conversations, a lot of people just assume I was alright. So it's like when people start saying like, "Yo, why dude ain't do this?" I was speaking to Jada. I was speaking to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody showed me love. Everybody showed me support.
Did you speak to Mace? Did you speak to Mace while you were here?
I did speak to Mace. I spoke to Mace a couple times. Actually, when him and Cam was having an issue, you know what I'm saying, I spoke to Mace, extensively about how he should deal with that situation.
Mm-hmm.
What did you tell him?
Well, basically,
hard.
I felt like, it wasn't even that, because that's encouraging the BS. My thing was, them dudes right there, they was friends before I even knew, either one of them. You know what I'm saying? I was cool with Cam growing up. I didn't really meet Mace till like later. But the thing was, when you look at history, when there's issues between two artists, it's always the entourage and sidekick dude.
I wouldn't say two artists. I would say they was brothers once before,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
but it
said
was an
that.
artist, right? Yeah,
Before the
Yeah,
artist, it was brothers. So
but the artist element is what makes it dangerous.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because now you got fans taking sides. See, as far as brothers, we will all know how to, mediate the situation when you got two brothers having an issue. But when you have two artists having an issue, what happens is those followers, those fans, those sidekick entourage dudes, wanna be down dudes and all that, they the ones that actually contribute to the violence and stuff that takes place when Cam and Mace ain't probably got no intentions of doing no bodily harm to each other.
to each
You
other, right?
understand?
It's the extra
So
shit comes along now with everybody else.
exactly. So
Yeah,
that's what my advice laid. It was like, y'all two, y'all cool. But y'all gonna have all these underlinked dudes trying to prove they self, prove their loyalty, so on and so forth. Like might see Cam, might see somebody that's close to Cam, do something stupid, saying, thinking they're doing something, to express
sound
their
right.
loyalty to you. Yeah. And
hmm
that's what my advice lay. Cause like, me, I'm not really with, like unnecessary nonsense. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like
right.
growing up in the street, I felt like everything had a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Even sometimes when it led to violence, it had a purpose. It was a
Had a
necessary
purpose,
evil at times. You know what I'm saying?
right?
But all the senseless stuff was like, that's for the birds, man. So, my advice to him at the time was like, yo, man, you got to be the bigger dude. And he actually went and did an interview, I think, with Angie or somebody. And, he definitely sounded very intelligent, and it seemed like he took their advice and he implemented, saying the way he saw was fit. And it ain't turning into nothing, so.
Right. Yeah, they squashed that. Did you speak to Mason now since you've been home? You did. You
I,
did. I
I
saw
have
you.
spoke to him one time. I spoke to him one time, 'cause I speak to Shamgar all the time. And Sham called him on a three-way, and we kicked it for a
Right.
minute. You know what I'm saying? So
Shamgar, the Shamgar with the crossover Shamgar. That's Shamgar,
Shamgar
right?
Wells, B, no question. That's my,
Right.
that's my man. That's
Yeah,
a day
yeah,
one right there.
yeah. Shout out to
That's a day
Sham,
one.
man. Um, how now you spoke about you not doing music and anymore, not into music no more. Where did that come about? While you were incarcerated, or or before the incarceration?
No, I came with Islam. Like, everything you learn in Islam, what I'm saying, you try to implement because of, the reward, the benefit of, implementing obedience to Allah. So when you understand that, first and foremost, your purpose is, to worship the one that created you. So if this creator has placed commands, upon us so that we can reap the reward of obeying and abstain from, the punishment of disobeying. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for example, when I learned that we're not supposed to trim the beard, you're looking at it.
Yeah, I see.
I've been Muslim for 12 years, right?
Yeah.
This looks right about 12 years, right?
Yeah. You haven't
So
touched
that's
it yet.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's just one of those things of implementing, a command from Allah or His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the
But we do
beauty
have
of
we do have rappers that are Muslim that study the faith
absolutely,
and still So this is where like it's like as somebody looking out from the outside, like, so I'm kind of confused. Can you, or are you allowed to, or you it's by choice of your faith?
nah,
Like,
we're not allowed to do music. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're not
We're
allowed to
not
do this
allowed to.
at all.
No, we're not allowed to do music. It's not permissible to listen to music. You know what I'm saying? It's really the instruments. It's not the voice. You know what I'm saying? It's
mm,
the instruments. So we're not allowed to condone it in no way, shape, or form. I'll give you an example, right? It's permissible
mm,
for me to sell grapes, right? Grapes is just a fruit.
right.
But if I know that the person that's purchasing the grapes has the intention of making wine, I won't sell them no grapes because
Mm,
alcohol is not
okay.
permissible. So
Right.
the
Right.
thing
Right.
is, sometimes because of our desires, we start making certain excuses so that we can go all the way through with something that we know is not permissible. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we try to find a way to, you know, incline to our desire opposed to abstaining from it to obtain the reward. So there's different levels of belief, what I'm saying? Different levels of faith. Like, all of us have belief in God. You know what I'm saying? Generally speaking, whether you Christian, Jewish, whatever the case may be, we
Whatever
all
it is.
generally believe that there's only one God, creator of the heavens and the earth and everything in between. So now with that being said, how you choose to implement that understanding is what gauges your level of belief.
Mm.
So if you're a true believer, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be a little bit more firm in abstaining from things that's not permissible for you to indulge in. But if your iman is at a level where it sways, you may abstain from certain things, but indulge in certain things and so on and so forth. But you may hold on to the most, sacred things, like the prayer,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, fasting during the month of Ramadan and things of that nature. But you still might find yourself, listening to music or engaging in other things that are not permissible.
They're not permissible. Like I tell Love. Pardon me for cutting you off. I tell Love he
That's
goes
cool.
to the deli. He goes to the deli and goes to Ock and they sell pork in there. I'm like, bro, they're not even supposed to sell pork in there. How do you
Absolutely.
do that? They just sell pork. And Love still gets the bacon and egg cheese sandwich. Like it's nothing. I don't understand
I'm not
that
even
guy.
gonna say anything because you're not gonna need I ordered turkey bacon cheese, right?
Turkey bacon?
Yeah.
Turkey bacon. Well, Loon go
Ain't
say
nothing
something
wrong with
about the
that.
turkey. Is something wrong with the turkey bacon?
Nah, I love turkey bacon.
Oh,
Yeah, I love turkey bacon. Hey, look, this is the thing. See, that's the thing. What kind of scares people away from Islam, because when people are so used to being able to just freely, exercise their desires, anything that constitutes any discipline or restriction, we run from that.
We run
You know what I'm
from
saying?
that.
Because there's this
Yeah.
false ideology in this country of freedom. So it's like, I'm free. Or people take free will out of content. Free will means you have the freedom to decide whether to believe or disbelieve. Or you have the free will to decide to obey or disobey. But you can't take free will out of content as if that, the deciding factor of every choice you make is going to reap some benefit for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're being self-serving. You know what I'm saying? But a Muslim, one who submits to the will of Allah, he's subservient. It's a difference.
It's a difference. Now, speaking of self-serving, I know you're doing a lot of serving for the people with your prison reform. What made you decide that this is what I want to do? And at what point did you do that? While incarcerated, or when you came home?
Well, the experience of being incarcerated definitely prompted me to pay more attention to not just what was happening to me, because that's easy, but to start paying attention to what's happening to other people. So when you start paying attention to what's happening to other people and listening to some of the stories of how this impacted or affected other people's lives, a lot of people that wasn't fortunate like myself to have a support system or to have, certain, level of celebrity and all of these things that worked for me transitioning back into society. A lot of these guys are starting from ground zero, coming home from doing 15, 20, 30 years. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that helped you out?
Absolutely. I mean,
being that the
opened,
celebrity helped you out come home?
No, actually, I don't think so, because most of these judges, especially in the feds, nobody care about no celebrity.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't Trump. It wasn't Trump. It wasn't Trump that signed the paper and like, yo,
Absolutely
bring home.
not. I filed for a compassionate release.
Yeah.
Nah, I filed for a compassionate release. I went through the system just like anybody else. They got released under the compassionate release due to COVID. You know what I'm saying? Because when people first started filing, it was being denied. Because the conditions of a compassionate release, you have to be actually 65 years or older. You have to have some underlying medical condition that's like near terminal, you know what I'm saying, or someone in the family, you know what I'm saying, that's near, you know what I'm saying, death, and you're the only person that can, aid in the system. They'll consider that. You know what I'm saying? So they're considered as compelling or extraordinary conditions. So now when judges started ruling that COVID itself is compelling and extraordinary, now people just start filing, they start getting relief, because now it's being recognized that COVID itself, being in institutions where you can't practice social distancing, So that means you can't implement the conditions of the CDC. You can't do none of the things, you know what I'm saying, that's
required.
Exactly, that's required to protect yourself from contracting COVID-19. So that's what I filed. I filed the emergency compassionate release because of COVID itself. My mom's had a heart attack, you know what I'm saying, and you know she's pulling through. My mom's doing much better now. But all of these different elements, you know, they all, you know, pertain to compelling and extraordinary, you know, circumstances, and that's why I was granted. So, you know, President Trump, you know, didn't have any input or anything into my release.
So how long was your time you had? You were sentenced to?
I was sentenced to 14 years at first, 168 months.
Oh.
Then the Sentencing Commission, they passed this 2-point reduction for nonviolent inmates, and I got that in 2016, which dropped my sentence from 168 to 135, which is 11 years. You know what I'm saying? And out of 11 years, I would have had to do 9 years in like 3 months, which I came home maybe two months shy of 9 years.
Yes.
And I had 16 months left on my sentence. So all the math add up.
Right. So no parole.
No, I got supervised release for 5 years.
Okay. And what's your ultimate, now that you want to do your prison reform? What's the ultimate goal for you as far as the prison reform?
The ultimate goal for me is education, because none of this stuff can be rectified or corrected or for sheer emotions and anger. You know what I'm saying? Because as people of color in America, you know, this is a very pinnacle moment for us. For all of the police brutality, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement, you know, the death, execution, and murder of Breonna Taylor, you know, George Floyd, so on and so forth. All of these are very pinnacle moments for people of color in America. But because, you know, our voices are being heard, we have to kind of like look at the full, you know, ramifications or the full, you know what I'm saying, capacity of what's taking place, and see where we're going to be the most effective in affecting change and reforming or transforming the criminal justice system, or reforming or transforming, you know what I'm saying, law enforcement to reduce police brutality, and also, you know, dealing with social and economic disparity and all of these things. I think education is important.
Very important.
Because what kind of fighter fights a fight and don't know what he's fighting for?
I have no idea.
You like the wild dude that should be throwing haymakers in the club and just punching anybody and everybody in the face. Yeah, you just swinging on anything that moves, opposed to getting your man. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, I feel like when I was in prison and coming home and learning all of the people, all of the organizations and people that advocate for prison reform, this knowledge never reached me while I was in prison. All we knew was FAM. You know, FAM, you know, send, you know, newsletters and stuff on the computers in prison. So that was like the sole, you know, organization that was known for advocating for prison reform. So any type of changes in laws or anything come through, FAM would notify, you know what I'm saying, those who had them logged on their email, you know, their email list, and you would get your information like that. So me coming home and just being bombarded by, you know, the support from all of these different, you know what I'm saying, reform organizations, and knowing like, subhanAllah, like all of these different, you know, people, groups and ethnicities, you know what I'm saying, of different backgrounds, all adamant and sincerely involved in trying to reform, you know what I'm saying, the criminal justice system, and, you know, reduce this high rate of recidivism in the prison system. So who would not, you know, what man in their right mind would not take heed to that and want to share that education, you know what I'm saying, and try to instill this understanding of what's taking place out here, but also try to inject, you know, intense programming, you know, that deals with education, you know what I'm saying, psychological, you know what I'm saying, evaluations, because you got to deal with the, you know, mental illness and all these things that take place in prison system, PTSD, there's a lot of
A lot
different
of shit.
things, yeah, that takes place being incarcerated for so many years. So by me experiencing that and being able to be in direct proximity with people who suffer from that, it's only right that you come home and selflessly find a way to look back, you know what I'm saying, to throw a rope back or throw a line back, or, you know, try to do something to try to, like, you know, rectify these matters. So, you know, I form an organization, you know what I'm saying, Loon to Amir Foundation. I've also, you know, aligned myself with Reform Alliance, which people
A
know
whole bunch of other groups.
Yeah, from Van Jones, Jessica Jackson.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z, Robert Kraft, Meek Mill. You know what I'm saying? They placed me in the department, the Office of Community Support. So, you know, forming allegiance with them would definitely prove to be effective as far as, you know, doing community-based, you know, projects. Because that's where you got to start building from. Everybody's focused on the oval room. I know it's very important, you know what I'm saying, to focus on the oval room and who gets in there.
Right.
But we got to look at those.
The groundwork.
Yeah, you got exactly. But you got to look at the people who directly impact their community.
Yeah,
like
the local levels,
councilmen, you know what I'm saying?
congressmen,
you know what I'm saying?
senators.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, district attorneys, all that type of stuff. You gotta get, you know what I'm saying, the police inspectors, you know, chief of police, all these positions that I feel many of the youth need to be honed in on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people. Okay.
Go ahead. Because
like a lot of the youth, they look at guys like us. You know what I'm saying? Look at guys like me, guys like Jay-Z, guys like Meek Mill, so on and so forth, and they aspire to be, you know, these people. But the chances of that happening, you know, are way more slimmer than you applying to be, you know, take a place in law enforcement. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or to be the chief of the fire department, or to be a doctor, or to be a lawyer. Your chances are higher.
DA. You're hired.
You know what I'm saying? Be a DA.
We need
be a
we need you out
judge.
there.
Yeah, we need you out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, this is what we need. But you know, this whole keep it real thing, and everybody then put this stigma around these positions, you know what I'm saying, to where the value of it, or the perception of the value of it, you know what I'm saying, is not perceived properly. Because if you knew that, I would feel a whole lot better, man. Me, personally, I feel a whole lot better if my grandmother, you know what I'm saying, went to Food Emporium right downstairs from my building, and she was safe. Yeah. And I know that the police in the community are people who lived in the community, people who know people in the community, know people that know people in the community.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Then that means that moral aspect of their job, you know what I'm saying, will be present. You know what I'm saying? Opposed to guys coming from other communities, trying to police our communities.
And don't speak our language.
They don't speak our language. I mean, you know, we get loud sometimes. We get a little handsy. We don't really mean nothing. We just, we just express it.
It's not a threat. That's right.
Yeah, but it's a threat to somebody that ain't from that community.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And you're going to get laid down. Mess with some scary dude that ain't from the community.
Are you going to vote for Kanye West?
I'm not voting at all.
I know you can't vote. Well, how do you feel about Kanye running for
president? And I want to make sure people understand that when I say that is because of my beliefs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it has nothing to do with your record. Well, you have a record and you're on paper.
No, it has everything to do with my belief. Because if I had the ability, I wouldn't. Because the thing is this, you know, and these are the more sensitive matters that people struggle with trying to understand coming from a Muslim. Is that, you know, I believe in the Sharia law. I believe in a law that Allah prescribed. So any man-made law, you know what I'm saying, I would never have no faith in that. And I think that, you know, that is not to discourage anybody else who needs to exercise their right to vote. You know what I'm saying? Because if you govern by this Constitution, you know what I'm saying, and your allegiance is to this country, then you need to be very instrumental in doing whatever it is to make sure that your rights are being fulfilled.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want nobody to get a misconception of what I mean by that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because you just told us that we got to go on local levels. Then you telling us that that's your belief, but that you're not voting. But that's like you said, it's your belief.
Yeah,
which
but
is your right.
Empowerment has everything to do with those who are subjugated to these communities. You know what I'm saying? Me, myself, this is me playing my role. You know what I'm saying? So my single vote, you know what I'm saying, would definitely be an extension of my efforts, but I feel like my efforts are more invested. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe in enjoining what's good and forbidding what's evil. That's something that a Muslim is obligated to enjoin what's good and forbid what's evil. So if you look at benefit versus harm, the benefit comes with mobilizing people to exercise the rights that they believe in. Those are the rights that you believe in. So exercise those rights. You believe that your vote counts, then you should go vote, because that's your right. It's my right as well as an American citizen. But I exercise the rights that don't contradict my beliefs. So don't think that I'm just completely excluding myself from everything that takes place
But
in this
that's your
country.
belief.
That's not true. Yeah, it's just my belief. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I definitely believe that, you know, empowering the community and being more active into the, you know, in the sectors that directly impact the community is something important. You know what I'm saying?
Wouldn't you think that the especially the rap community would want education from Loon as his experience that he went through, and you know, and going through, that they can use some of that knowledge in the rap community, especially the younger ones, and you not being involved in music no more? Wouldn't that be like very essential from you?
Well, I think that, you know, if you can look at it from so many ways. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like taking advice from a guy that used to be somebody in the street, but he's not in the street no more. But he's still giving you advice on how you should navigate through things in the street. So there's value still here. You know what I'm saying? So I look at myself like whatever I've experienced and whatever I've grown to learn, I just want to share it. You know what I'm saying? Take it or leave it. I just want to share it. Because I believe that as men, when there's, you know, a generation that precedes us, you know what I'm saying, or a generation that will come after us, we have to leave something. You know, we have to leave something behind. We have to leave some level of guidance or something, you know what I'm saying, for the next generation to evolve, you know what I'm saying, and transition in a manner that, you know, befits their benefit. And I think that a lot of us have failed this generation here. You know, some by default, some by choice, and some circumstantial. And I say that to say, like, for example, all the men that's being warehoused in the prison system, these are fathers stripped out of the household. So now the burden of raising a man falls on who? Falls on the woman. Right?
Yeah.
Now, she
The
could
woman,
try her best.
it falls on the woman in the streets. Those two.
In the streets, yeah.
Well, the streets is always going to be there. That's why anything that deters a kid from the street starts at home.
Yeah.
So if the structure of the home is in place, you know, and the influence that takes place in the home is strong, you know what I'm saying, then this can divert a kid from being too inclined to the street. And we've seen this. We've seen this throughout our lives and through our lifetime. We've seen athletes come out of our communities who stayed away from the drugs, who stayed away from the gambling, the violence, and so on and so forth. We've seen this. I've seen people who emerged as lawyers, doctors, and so on and so forth. So we've seen this. So we know that there's empirical evidence that says it works when the home is in place. You know what I'm saying? Everything starts at home. So when the infrastructure of the home is broken, meaning there's no male there, what happens is you become inclined to the men in the street. You understand? You coming home to a woman every day who's trying her best to instill certain qualities into you, certain mannerisms, certain things that's going to benefit you and how you deal with your, you know, your day to day and so on and so forth. But she can't really treat you how to be a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to chastising, if she don't pick something up and bust you across your head, she don't have the capacity or strength to even, you know what I'm saying, extract fear out of you know, these young kids today. Like, this is a woman, man.
Right.
A woman trying to, you know what I'm saying, raise a man. So with that being said, they fall to the streets, you know, people who are influential, you know what I'm saying, the music business and so on and so forth. And all of these things become way more attractive and way more appealing than what mom's, you know what I'm saying, pumping. Mom's trying the best, man. She trying the best. You know what I'm saying? But it just ain't working out. So I say that, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, our generation kind of failed them. And then even sometimes, you know, wallahi, man, when I listen to guys always talking about, yo, these young guys, they crazy, the young guys is this, it's like you talking yourself out of helping them. When you start saying stuff like that, it's like you trying to convince yourself, you know what I'm saying, not to do nothing about it.
Yeah, and you can make a change.
I ain't going over
that 5-minute, 10-minute conversation to the young homie, it can help him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
help him a lot.
You never know.
That's right.
Trying is, you know, trying. You can't go wrong with just trying.
So I think that's what he's saying then, Love. So their music business, if they need him, he will be there. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? If they need you, you will be there then for them.
I'll be there. Wallahi, I'll be there to the best of my ability because, like I said, what I have to offer, whatever it is, if it's just, you know, like you said, 5-10 minutes of my time, I'm going to listen to you first.
Right.
Because that's the one thing that we have to learn when we approaching the youth today. We got to listen to them. You can't go telling them what to do or, you know, criticizing or critiquing what they're doing. We got to listen to them because all of us have a reason why we're doing what we're doing or a reason why we fell into what we fell in. You know what I'm saying? Now, the powers that be, you know what I'm saying, the criminal justice system, they don't care for none of that. They don't care to listen to those things.
Nah, they don't want to listen to that.
They don't care.
And we still got to be there again. We care.
Yeah.
Still got to be there again.
We care. Yeah. We care. So if they never heard, they need to hear from us. That's right. They definitely need to hear from us.
Yo, man, Loon. Go ahead, Love.
We appreciate you zooming in with us.
I was going to
say. Giving us this good old info, man. Sometimes you need this in the morning, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, it's a pleasure, man. I just like to be able to, you know, play my part. And I try to urge every man to do the same. Because like I said earlier, this is a very pinnacle moment for men. You know what I'm saying? For men.
Yeah.
Because you see what's happening out there, man. You know what I'm saying? You see what's happening out there, man. And it's scary, man. And I really feel bad because, you know, as a kid, I wasn't faced with this stuff that these kids is faced with.
Yeah, it's
you know,
unprecedented. Like they said, like that's what it is. We've never seen this. Like, and so they've not. For them, it's definitely, got them going cuckoo. Us, it's like, damn, what the hell? Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing. That's where the discord comes in because we start trying to alienate ourselves from what they're dealing with because we never had to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? But understanding what they're going through it definitely, you know, change your heart, man. Because you gotta look at it like, man, look, it's a whole different, like, it's a whole nother horse out here, man.
Definitely.
I'm just coming home and I'm seeing it. It's like, it's scary to me, man. So like you
said
earlier, you know what I'm saying? Like your son trying to be all in the mix. He want to be
all in the video.
Yeah, no question. But the beauty about that is that he want to be next to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's something we can't take for granted. That's why I said earlier, man, let him go, man. Let him rip, man. Because the thing is, that's a beautiful thing you know, to experience. I had that same relationship with my son. You know what I'm saying? He didn't got older since I've been gone, but we still got that bond.
The bond.
My 10-year-old, you know, my youngest daughter, like, you know, she's very affectionate. She love her father. She love her mother. She love her brother. We eat dinner at the table. You know what I'm saying? In the house we had My wife don't set up dinner at that table when we eating at that table, because those are the moments when you get to interact. That's family time. But when you have all those things removed from the family, you know what I'm saying? Dude rather go eat with his homeboys, or he rather go eat here, go eat with this chick, or go eat where, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's something that's being stripped away from the home.
And until those days are taken away from you, then you start flashing back and thinking about that.
Absolutely. Now when you're locked up, that's when it all comes out. Wish I
hit you hard.
The house.
Yeah.
So man, you know, that's that. There you go. You said a mouthful right there.
Thank you, Loon, man. Appreciate you, Amir. Appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate y'all too. Thanks for having me, man.
And as soon as it's over, we gotta do something live, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
And if Loon, if you ever decide to make some music, hit us up, man. We want to be the first.
There you go. See, there you go. That's a shaitan right there.
That's a double. That's a double.
Yeah, that's a shaitan, man. Come on,
you might need 5 minutes. No.
I hold to be like even that shaitan in our game.
Right.
Hey, listen.
Hey, look.
Before
you go, can you do a drop for us? Would that be cool?
Yeah, ain't no problem.
All right. And you see the names on the screen. It's check me out. You know, whatever name you're gonna use. I think you know Amir. Like, yo, Mr. Amir, check me out. Weekend Work on Shade 45.
Would love to narrow Coach PR.
Coach PR, yeah.
Weekend Work.
Yeah.
Yeah, Weekend Work
on Shade 45.
That's the crazy thing, right? Before we even do this, man, I can't even play with y'all names. That's the crazy thing. See, the name you got up there. What's your first name? I gotta get mine off now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey yo, you see how you just said that? Hey yo, Coach said, yo, see the names up there? Yo, the names is up there.
Yeah, I see your choice.
The names is up there. I ain't mad at you. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam. It's your brother Amir, formerly known as Loon from Bad Boy Records. And right now, putting in that weekend work with my boys Coach and Love Dinero on Shade 45. Reform, baby. Now's the time.
The bad boys with the other bad boy, Shade 45.
You want the bad boy with the other bad boy?
Yeah, because we call ourselves the bad boys of radio, and you the original bad boys, so you know.
Okay, check this out. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam. It's your brother Amir, formerly known as Loon from Bad Boy Records. And right now, I'm chilling with the bad boys of radio. My boy Coach and Love Dinero. I'm formerly a bad boy, but they still bad on Shade 45.
The Bad Boys of Radio.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
They're taking over the airwaves, so turn your radio up. Weekend Work is now on.